can't nobody compete with you on it.
No. Hey, did you get it, Chucker?
Where did you send it?
I sent it through Instagram. I'm trying to see if you got it.
Remember, we want you to be an activist, and don't take our word for it. Look that shit up. Pulley. Comment, he said they didn't give Reagan Alzheimer's, but his son and analysis says he was showing signs about 5 years into his term. Okay, let me reopen up Facebook. Yeah, it's always Facebook. Facebook is like a bug. Y'all remember back in the day where it was like that streaming service where you could download music for free, but that shit was like a fucking virus? And there was also a fucking software. Hold on. There was a software safety security program that was also a bug. I don't want to say none of the names because I could be wrong and I don't want to get in trouble and all that shit. But those that know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. But there was it was a security software. It was a software that was supposed to protect your computer, and it was a fucking virus.
Okay, sounds a lot like ADP. Not that I'm an expert on the matter, but I remember way back in the day when McAfee was first coming out, part of the installation added something that was similar to a virus. It wasn't an actual virus. It just keyed it as one. So no matter if it had a brand new computer or not, you download McAfee, it would immediately find a virus and go, "Hey, we've removed this. Subscribe now. Pay extra. Aren't you glad you got McAfee because you had a virus?"
And it's like there wasn't nothing on my computer. How the fuck? It's a brand new computer. There's nothing here. Haven't even searched the internet yet. First pop up that pops up and shit. Bullshit.
No, yeah, I did a brand new computer, Windows install on the hard drive. The first thing I put on was McAfee, and it found a virus in a brand new Windows boot on a brand new hard drive on a first boot up of a computer.
Yeah, I think it takes a while to learn this, but one thing about the internet is don't click pop-ups, right? And I've been around for a while when the internet pretty much was first coming out, and remember back when like it really literally everything was trouble. All the pop-ups, everything that popped up was something that was trying to, you know.
Okay, another thing people don't realize, when you get the pop-up or you get that thing, you fill out the form, but then you close it saying, nah, I'm not going to do it. Doesn't matter. They already got it when you filled it out.
And those fake ass programs where they make you keep filling out your information over and over, and it's like a loop. They're just getting your information. A lot of times those be like, they look just like the official websites or whatever it is you're trying to do, because people are really good at building websites that look just like the ones that that you're used to seeing. But something will be different on the screen. Something will be in the wrong spot. And that's what they do. And then you go through that site and you are just plugging in all your information. Basically, they're just taking your information and it just keeps taking you in a loop over and over and over and over again. So like another thing, like when you type in your search for something, usually you don't want to click on whatever pops up first, because those ones on the top, a lot of times those top searches are the ones that are predatory. So scroll a bit more. That's another internet etiquette right there. I think a lot of people don't understand this stuff, and then you literally have to be on the internet for a while, because they're going to get you with all of this stuff until you realize what the fuck is actually happening. And you know what I realize now with the social medias, how one of the ways they're preying on everybody, how they say boost your post and all of this shit. Like they don't give a damn about none of that shit. They just collecting money from your dumb ass. You know what I'm saying? Sure, this post is doing well. Why don't you post it? We'll give you $5 to go towards your post, boosting your post. Just give us some more money.
How about join a couple of Black issues and Black community groups, and then post your thing there, not post an ad there, but actually make a post there with a link. Hey, I'm going live podcast now in the group instead of just on the open page.
I already did that. Let me play this video.
To run on water. The security guard who was unalived in Buffalo invented a machine that allows cars to run on water.
You got your hydrogen for your electrolysis. You got your batteries, your water. I want you to notice that you can get a shot of this Charles. There's no water in the. Okay, tank is empty. All right, put this back on. We're gonna need water in a minute. This is the agitator. So we're gonna do 4 experiments today for the patent examiners. The first one, you do need electrolysis. But what my system has done is
this the reason for the Buffalo Massacre?
The residue that's produced by the electrolysis. So we're going to actually start this vehicle without any electrolysis. The second one, we're going to fill the water tank with water. And again, we're going to be able to start it without electrolysis and run this engine. How long we'll find out. Then we're going to turn the hydrogen generator on, and we're going to let that produce some gas, and then we're going to see how long the engine runs with the hydrogen only. And then the fourth one, we're going to use the combination of the hydrogen generator, the agitator, and we're going to see how long it runs together. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to start the engine up on gas first, and I'm going to initiate the agitator, and then we're going to go to the front and we're going to switch the gas, hydrogen gas on, and the regular fuel off. Okay,
I'm going to pause for a second. Go ahead.
So, all right, I'm just gonna start it.
Sounds real smooth. Sounds real smooth.
Okay. Now I'm gonna turn on the hydrogen,
Oh,
and then I'm gonna turn off the gas.
okay. You probably need the gas to start it,
So notice
and the
gas
hydrogen
is
just keeps
in
it
the on
going.
position, and it's running on no electrolysis. So it's running on the hydrogen.
It's running on the hydrogen right now.
It's running on the hydrogen right now.
Shut the gas. The gas.
The gas is in the shut off position right there. Gas in the shut off position. Nobody got to watch it. We get time this. Okay. So we're just gonna see how long it. Again, there's no electrolysis. Okay, now it's not running off of gas fumes. No, there's no gas fumes. There's no gas fumes.
Okay, so I started the. I mean, it's been running for a little bit, but I started the timer right now.
Okay.
So what we have here is the gas valve. The gas valve is shut off. And that's the gas valve in the rear. It's in off position. And the vehicle is running on pure hydrogen. That's the extra alternator. Fuel air intake. And this is the valve for the hydrogen to engage. We're going to go out to the back of the vehicle and get some information from Mr. Salter. Okay, it's been running for how long?
It's been running for a minute and 17 seconds. I would say it was running for 30 seconds prior, so
That's with no water. It's running on pure residue. We suspect it's hydrogen residue.
The security guard who was unalived in Buffalo. The security guard who was unalived in Buffalo.
Okay, so that ended part must have been when the engine shut off. So I guess it wasn't that long, and it had a pretty nice sized little tank in there. So how viable was the technology really? And then how do we know the guy wasn't really just scamming people with the whole thing anyways, maybe, you know? Like the one question that the guy asked is it gas fumes? Is it fumes still going? Because I know, you know, you run out of gas, you it'll go for a little while anyways. And it didn't go that long after. So, but I'm not saying that the guy was not being honest at all. I'm just speculating here. I'm just saying that, you know, how valuable was the technology? Was it really worth, you know, all this elaborate as fucking conspiracy of murdering the guy? You know what I mean? Just for the sake of argument. What do y'all think about that? I want to read some comments too. These are comments underneath that post on TikTok. It says, earlier this month, they tried killing Maxwell Chikumbutsu, who invented a generator that can produce electricity using radio frequency. Another comment, it says, who has his gear and knowledge? That's a good question. Another comment, it says everyone should be talking about this. Another comment, Nikola Tesla invented it. He just patented it. What the fuck? That was an ignorant ass comment. He patented it. Then this means it works, and the car manufacturers will be able to make water-fueled cars, but the government would never release it. Another comment, it says, don't get killed, be careful, pay attention, listen to your surroundings. Another comment, hope this guy was answered and shared his text. Hope this guy was answered and shared his text. I guess it was a typo, but I can't figure out what they were trying to say. Another comment, now who about to come out with breaking news that they built this the first ever? It says, she should have never let this out to the media as yet. Or he. There's a lot of typos here. Man's become a genius. May he rest in peace. So let me get out of here. This is why I freaking TikTok. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, but just feels like not the brightest people there. Maybe that's another thing with this. You know, how much freaking credence does this really have? And I've been skeptical already from the beginning of this one. And maybe this one is another distraction from what's actually going on, you know, just making this extravagant, complex conspiracy theory to just, you know, red meat for the internet for people to consume and sensationalize over for a couple of weeks until this whole thing blows over. Because we were talking about earlier in the video about political will, and it's true, you know, that the political will has already been there related to this particular topic. But whenever you have events like this, there's a little bit more. There's a bit more political will. And a lot of times, good legislations end up coming down after events like this. Now, I have to say, a lot of times really horrible legislation comes down after events like this. So, you know, it goes both ways. And I think that's where a lot of people be talking about Congress and they're like, Congress can't really do nothing. And a lot of people are like, well, that's good because they just be messing shit up anyways. Go ahead. What you gonna say?
Well, see, we have a basic disconnect when it comes to, you know, what is necessary and what is not, what is good and what is too far. I mean, you know, good for one, good for many, you know, right versus control. I mean, drive up and snatch you off the street or let you say with your piece. I mean, I just,
Yeah, so wait, you got a message down here I didn't read. Oh my, I was messaged by the Beto campaign to join their protest at the Republican gathering coming up in Houston. That's interesting, Doc. That means you're on their algorithm.
I'm a little distracted by that right now. That's why I lost my train of thought.
That's funny. How did you fall in their algorithm, Doc?
I don't know, because I actually posted that I don't want to have anything to do with it, because after his little showdown with the governor, he showed that his political agenda is more important than the suffering of the families. He's proven that control of the public, violation of the Second Amendment, is more important than the rise of the mental health issue problem. And ultimately that this whole thing, it's not a gun control problem. It's a broken human being problem. And he's trying to use that as a springboard for his political campaign. Doesn't matter how much you hate Abbott. I despise this kind of politician.
Yeah, and
He disgusts me.
yeah, yeah. I kind of liked Beto a bit more when I didn't know that much about him, but I think it's like that with a lot of the politicians. The more you learn about them, the
I
less
might
they're.
agree with everything he believes in, but what he did, going up, yelling at Abbott, saying whatever, it doesn't matter what he said, while he's trying to give a message.
And I agree with you, Doc. You're breaking up, but I agree with you, Doc. Them calling him a jackass, and I don't agree with Abbott or his lieutenant or any of them very often, but them calling Beto a jackass, I think that was pretty fair. Like that in that moment, you know, his behavior wasn't cool. So them calling him a jackass was fair. I think that's just my opinion, you know. And I can agree with Beto on what he was saying about the gun rights, and still feel like he's a jackass for, you know, doing it the way that he was doing it, because it's really about his political career. Because they was talking about in the clip with the guy from the left that I played from Canada, and he was talking about Ted Cruz, but pretty much everything you said about Ted Cruz could be said about Beto, and especially with that specific event that Beto did when he crashed Abbott's press conference. You know, that was a lot like the way the Rational National was talking about Ted Cruz is the same things, you know, you could say about Beto. So that's what I be saying all the time about us getting caught up on one side or the other. That's where we get lost. And if we're super sympathetic to one side and extra critical of the other, then they got us. So, you know, best, you know, I mean, nihilism is not good either. Cynicalism is not good either, where you just be like, okay, I just don't trust either one of them. So, but that's not good either, you know. We need to find a balance, because there's truth coming out of both sides. So that's what we need to be looking for, you know what I mean? And be critical of both sides, but also be sympathetic to both sides and try to hear them out. And that's it, no matter where you fall on it. So that way you're going to be finding more closer to the truth than fucking, you know, stuck on your dogma, because they just feed us our narrative that we want to hear, and we're all stuck in our bubble. The algorithm just feeds us what we want to hear, and we don't ever get the full perspective of any story. The media is fucking wartime propaganda, basically straight up lying to you. The media is all the lies and propaganda are all in. It's not just, when we say media, it's not just the news. That's where a lot of people get confused. It's the movies, it's the music, it's television shows, it's the newspapers, it's the magazines, it's the art, bruh. It's the history, it's what you're taught in school, it's everything. Anyways, I'm tired and I gotta work all day tomorrow. So I'm gonna wrap it.
I feel you, bro.
You got any final thoughts on the topic?
Man,
I felt good about today's show. I think we did a good job of covering this stuff today.
yeah, man, it was an awesome show. Man, I don't even know really what to say. I don't know, man. I'm still trying to gather all my thoughts, and you know, what happened the other day, man, on Tuesday is I think it hits home for a lot of people, you know. It's a sad deal. It's very sad, man,
It's because it's like up in the ante. It's what more you can be afraid of. Threat level red. We was talking about terrorism in the other one, about how the lady was in the grocery store and she's like, what would I do if somebody came in here shooting everybody? And that's what terrorism does. Even the rational minded person, it creeps in there and makes you afraid, sometimes irrationally afraid. And so like the auntie of the grandmas at the grocery store is one thing. Then you take it up another notch, and it's freaking 10-year-olds in the elementary school.
Yeah.
like back to back.
Yeah.
So what can you be like? It's like I say, your worst fear, right? Your mom or grandma getting shot randomly in the grocery store, and then your child being shot at school for no
Yep.
fucking reason.
Yeah. This could all be a ploy, bro, to try to desensitize you to the shit.
Well, this is the conspiracy theory part that I would kind of a bit kind of subscribe to, because I want the audience to know that wasn't going with. I be presenting information. I'm trying to do journalism here, and I do give my point of view on things. And another thing I want people to understand is like whatever somebody else is saying, what Pat is saying, like maybe I don't agree with everything. I don't agree with everything Pat says. I don't agree with everything Deuce says or Doc or whoever is on this show. I hope people understand that. I'm just kind of providing a platform for these voices. So don't think that I agree with everything that they're saying. Their message is theirs and theirs alone. I'm just providing a platform. So the stuff that I say out of my mouth, most of the time I try to keep it journalism. But when it's my opinion, I'm sure you guys understand when I'm giving my opinion. And I'm just stating how I feel about things. And like today, us covering the conspiracy theory of the guy with the water engine and possibly being a hit. And I'm just exploring the idea of it. I'm not saying that I subscribe to that way of thinking. But what I will say is the idea of threat level red, the idea of the pandemic rolling over into all of this stuff, Roe versus Wade, keeping people at this heightened level of fear, because these events, not saying these are false flags, because I don't want to diminish these events. What I'm saying is the media chooses which events they highlight and keep on going over and over. It's a bunch of shit going on all over the country, but we focus on 2 or 3 or 4 stories, and they get played over and over and over again. And then you have to ask yourself, why are they highlighting these stories? Like certain people just really want to share bad information. They say horrible information spreads fast, but it's because people want to share that. People don't share the good stories. You know what I mean? But I know people enjoy watching good stories too. About things that has happened that is uplifting, not just horrible events. So the media highlighting these super horrible events and super horrible things, making it feel like the whole world is just a shithole, and heightened level of fear. That's a way that you control people. Because the best way to control somebody is have their ass scared to fucking death, right?
Yep.
And I'm sure everybody's scared to death. A lot of people around the nation is worried about their kids. It's the end of school. They probably don't want to let their kids go to school. I was thinking about it. And it's like, it's the end anyways. And then it's like the idea of somebody doing another one before this is over. That's terrorism. That's how it works. Anyways, I'm finna wrap it. Peace and love. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for listening. I will be back tomorrow. I'm gonna be tired as fuck, but I will be here for y'all. I really doubt the Saturday show is gonna happen. And lately, the Saturday shows are not working out. I'll be too tired, and I want to give you guys good content. I don't want to be on here fucking just babbling and not even thinking clearly like last night's show. So, and also, I think that Saturday show is going to be replaced with a day show, but I have no idea which day and time that's going to be. So, because I really want to do a day show, it's probably going to be in the morning. I'm thinking of a morning show, doing the weather and news stories, and like do it in kind of a different format than we do for this night show, making it more professional, less cursing, more clean, I really want to project like a journalistic type of image, like a news show kind of. doing the weather and local news and random news stories. News networks are not even getting clicks like that. So this shows like there's an opportunity for this, what we're doing here on this show.
So I really enjoyed seeing you be confident in your perspective. And I think that you have a lot to say, especially when I saw a lot about social issues and politics. And I will be honest, like I'm not as well versed as I probably should be. But I really appreciated being able to learn from your content. I think a lot of people, and also have a different perspective. So I think a lot of people, it's kind of like an echo chamber. They like what
Right.
they like hearing, what they like hearing. And so I'm very much a person who I love seeing both sides. I love getting different perspectives. I love getting different opinions. So I really enjoy being able to learn things from you.
Yeah, man.
That's hot shit right there, man.
So what we gonna do?
We want you to be an activist, and don't take our word for it. Look that shit up. Pulley.